and just welcome everyone. We have this absolute champion on, Robsperry, and we've only recently come to know each other face to face, but I feel like we're definitely old friends. We have a lot of the same values, which is, a passion for this incredible profession and cleaning it up and helping more people create the life that they want. We're passionate about people really being in the driver's seat of their life and creating a true time flexibility and, financial flexibility in their life to say yes to more, getting out of the life of humdrum. And we have really similar backgrounds and stories. You are a husband and you are a father of 4 beautiful kids. I got your Christmas card. It was such a beautiful touch. Thank you. And, and rather than me share your story, I'd love to start off a little bit, Rob, because a lot of people haven't yet met you. I just had a show of hands before. Just toot your own horn here, because first of all, no one does that. We don't do that enough, especially in Australia with Tall Poppy. I want you to just what are you most proud of? Just give us some of your list of achievements of why we should listen to you.
That was probably one of the hardest parts about this industry, when you started having to edify yourself. And I remember the first time I got a nice car, I was putting it down. And this guy looks at me, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then he recited Jim Rohn. He said, "Jesus Christ, when someone said you're the son of God, he didn't say, no, you're not." And I'm like, all right, touche. But it still doesn't make me feel comfortable. But it is what it is. The great thing is I can tell people that I have had a ton of successes. I've had way more failures throughout the process. I've had the highest of highs where I was running a tennis club. I thought I had the dream job. I transitioned into network marketing. My first month, I made $15,000. And I thought, geez, this is so easy. If I could just get a couple people to do what I did, I'm going to make so much money. And then I went into management mode for months, for about 4 or 5 months. And my 5th month in the business, which happened to be my first December, I made less than $400 for the month. And at that point, I'd quit my job like an idiot. And I thought that residual income and bonus checks, I didn't know there was a difference between the two. So that first month I thought, oh yeah, I've got this residual income. They talk about residual income. And I had no idea the difference. And so it was my mistake. I had to take responsibility. But when I made less than $400 a month, I'm just like, what am I going to do? And so I figured, you know what? My strength is I'm very coachable. I have this ability to learn how to learn. I don't start off very fast, but if other people can do it, I can. And I feel like I'm just really, really tough. And so I grinded, worked really hard. I became the top recruiter out of 1 million distributors over the course of 3 years. Great experience. And then after that, I had a company that had done about $4 billion in total sales that asked me to create an entirely new brand. So I became both a consultant and their lead distributor. And that was a fun process. I learned a ton. Again, I had a lot of butt kicking, a lot of learning experiences, but we did well. We launched with $1 million in sales at day one. And again, it was just a new journey experiences. And then the short version after that is really, I merged that company along with 2 other companies, which now is known as the largest merger in network marketing. But it didn't feel like a big deal at the time. It was just, I knew people, tried to put them together. It came together and it happened. And since then, I've done a lot of coaching, consulting, public speaking. I spoke in 9 countries this last year. And I feel like I've got to keep learning, because just like today, as you know, Linda, when you're putting out content, I'm like, I'm doing a Facebook Live. What am I going to talk about? They've heard everything. So I've already read an hour today. I'm always trying to learn as much as I can. I've read/listened to over 700 books. And trust me, I don't think I know it all. Just ask my wife when she kicks my butt every single day. I may wear the pants. She decides on the size, the color of the brand, and everything else. So I know that I've got a long ways to go. But the thing I'm most proud of actually is really just the person that I'm becoming. It's my family. And I always wanted to be that father. I always wanted to be that husband that was just around. And so this last year, I did 7 family vacations. And then I also had 3 trips with just my wife. And to me, that's what it's all about. I mean, who cares? Cars, houses, those things are nice. But really, when you die, you're not going to talk about those things. You're going to talk about the memories that you create. And at the beginning, when I heard that from my $30 million mentor, he's like, it's not about he's like, it's not about the money, it's about the person you become. And I'm thinking, yeah, let me make $30 million. And I'm sure, I just thought, come on, give me a break. But the more I made, the more I learned that that's absolutely the truth. I get it. I know money can fuel a lot of those passions and dreams, just like they did with what I did last year. But I'm 100% generic now, and I'm just passionate. I just like, it's something I can see myself doing 10, 15 years from now. Apart from the money, it's just fun. I get to meet new people like Linda, and you get to learn from these incredible people, and you turn these strangers into friends, and friends into family. As Fraser and I were actually saying that separately, and that's why him and I, Fraser Brooks and I, just hit it off. Like, we had his book, by the way, that's coming out. He sends me these principles for his book. I'm like, that's 3 of the 4 principles for my book. He's like, I haven't read it yet. I'm like, there you go. Like, we have like the same wavelength on so many things, and it's just fun. Just so many incredible people. So I know that's a really long,
Brilliant.
winded intro. So I apologize.
It's brilliant. Now everyone's paying attention. They're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. I want some of that. And what strikes me about you, and it's the same with Fraser, and really anyone that I truly admire and respect in leadership in general, is there's a certain confidence and charisma. Is this something you always had, or you cultivated? You seem very charismatic and exuberant. Were you always like that? Did you come into network marketing going, well, I can nail this. I back myself. No matter what I do, I'm not really going to fail. Were you like
so
that?
I'm naturally, how do I explain it? I'm naturally an introvert, but I'm a very ambitious introvert. So I think a lot of times people, they misinterpret and they think introvert means you're extremely shy. I'm naturally a very ambitious introvert. I'm very driven. I'm crazy competitive, but I'm more quiet competitive. I'm not loud. And so in network marketing, I had to learn to become the best version of me. And I know we hear that, it sounds cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're timeless principles.
Yes.
And so for me, my mentor is the strongest type A personality I have ever met, still to this day. And I've met, I don't know, 500 different $1 million earners in network marketing. I've never met anyone that's stronger personality than him. And this guy, literally, he would sign people up when he started network marketing by saying, hey, I'm going all out. I'm going to make a lot of money. What's your credit card? Are you in or you out? And I'm thinking, like, this is complete opposite of me. Like, couldn't be further from me. But I tried to say things similar to him, not like that extreme, and it just didn't resonate. And so I had to learn to extract the principle of the world loves boldness. It makes people curious. It's contagious. The world has way too many followers and more leaders. So I extracted the principle and said, okay, well, what's that bold version of me, right? Because everyone says be the authentic you. Well, I'm going to say be the bold authentic you, because a lot of times people think the authentic them is the shy, quiet, right? Like, or reserved, or that's me. I feel uncomfortable doing it. No, you got to get out of your comfort zone. So for me, it was really hard. I cared too much what other people thought. I know a lot of us do to a different degree, but I was embarrassed. I didn't post anything on social media about what I did for the first 4 years. That's how embarrassed I was. Even after I'd made a couple $1 million, I still did. Just to give you how.
So I love this, because this is raw and honest, and I commend you. How did you get over that 4 years? Because I was very quiet and was under the illusion of, we're not one of those companies. We're different. I totally believed some hype on that we're a hybrid company. We're not one of those companies. And in fact, I just shared while we were waiting for the call to start, I would never be in a room of other network marketers, because they were contagious. Something was different about them. So to come full circle, how did you start to shift that belief to now being an industry, shapeshifter, one that's really at the forefront of changing the industry?
I think a lot of it is the story we tell ourselves, right? The perception that we tell ourselves. And we can read all we want, but it takes reading and then applying. If you know everything and do nothing, you know absolutely nothing. And too many times in network marketing, we make the plan to the plan of the plan, and we get caught up in the personal development black hole. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the guy that's read/listened to over 700 books. I'm not saying it's not important, but if you don't apply it, it means nothing. And so for me, I'd read it. I remember reading something from Darren Hardy, where Darren Hardy said, on average, the biggest determining factor of somebody going to your funeral was the weather. And I'm thinking, that's the biggest determining factor. Why do I care so much? And I started realizing that I thought I didn't have an ego because I thought I always was putting myself down, right? And I wasn't like trying to be this person. I wasn't being cocky or conceited, but I realized I had an ego in a completely different way. And ego stands for edging God out. Ego stands for everyone's got one. Your ego ain't your amigo, right? There's so many different ways, but I realized that I got this ego where I got this perception where I worry so much and I'm not chasing my dreams and as much as I could, and I'm not making that impact. And so it wasn't just overnight. There was never just a shift. It was just slowly more and more I started to become more proud. Slowly more and more I just said, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what it really is. Because let's be honest, most of us, we know what network marketing is and we love it. We're worried because we know what other people perceive it as.
Right.
And because of that, we're worried because we know we're givers. We're worried we're going to be perceived as takers. And I finally just got to the point between reading and doing, reading and doing, reading and doing, right? And acting and acting and acting and acting, meaning action, not fake acting or anything like that. I finally just said, you know what? Like I became that person slowly but surely. And each person's different. And that's why I'll take tough and grit over good any day. Because if you're good and you have a bad day, bad week, bad month, bad quarter, your ego gets in the way and a lot of times you quit. Whereas if you're tough, whether you have the bad day, bad week, bad month, bad quarter, tough can figure it out because they stick around. And that's one of the reasons why I actually think one of the many reasons why women overall dominate this industry is because even though women sometimes, okay, don't get me in trouble, my wife's not in the room here, sometimes women can wear their sleeve, the emotions on their sleeves. I said sometimes, okay, just sometimes, but they're way tougher. They're way better. Like they bounce back, even if they wear their emotions on their sleeves, whereas men, it's like, no, that thing didn't work. And they create these excuses because their egos can't handle it. So that's why a lot of the men actually wait until their spouses have success. And then once that's out of the way, it's like they've hedged their risk. And so now they can kind of jump in, right, and say how much they loved it. I mean, let's be honest. We know that happens a ton. And that's one of the reasons why. I know there's lots of different reasons and theories and philosophies we could go into.
I love it. There's so much gold here, and I want to keep using our time effectively, but I do want to park in this little bit for a minute about how to become out loud and proud. So when you were patient, you applied yourself and you read it. What were some of the things, looking back now, if you could compress time in that journey of being a new distributor to being proud and where you just don't care what others think and suddenly you're inwardly directed, and then that's when we become wildly attractive, when we kind of break those shackles. What have you seen in your experience, looking back for you? What were the key things that you did, and how do you help people now do that journey further faster?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my wife said it best. I asked her this question. I said when I was writing my book, The Game of Networking, I just said to her, I'm like, Janae, I'm like, what would you say it takes? Like, give me some success principle that's not cliche. And she said to me, like, without even thinking, and I had something similar in the book, but she put it way better than me. She said this, she said, you have to care a little bit what people think so that you're somewhat aware and not crazy, but you can't care too much that it affects you from being the leader and being bold and doing whatever it takes to have success. And I thought, wow, like that's a tough balance. And she's very just intuitive with people in general. She's like the friend that knows how everybody's feeling, even when they don't say anything. And so it was just really good insight. So I think going back, I wish I would have been bolder sooner. I wish I would have, and bolder doesn't mean that, look, I'm never teaching anyone, right, as you guys have heard, that to be this Pamela where you're all over and you're just like, hey, join my company today, only 2 spots left, right? I'm not teaching you to be crazy. I'm just teaching you why not effectively communicate sooner what it is you do. Now, A20 is different, but you could say when you're at a conference and you've got maybe 300 people on your team are there, just say, hey, it was so fun hanging out with 300 other like-minded entrepreneurs. And it's fun, just chasing our dreams together. And just communicate whatever that is, but find a way to effectively communicate how you truly feel. Because I always say good leaders have vision, right? I'm going to be here, Linda. I'm going to be here 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. That's good. But if you want to become a great leader, you need to learn how to give vision. So good leaders have vision. Great leaders give vision. Of course, great leaders have to have that vision to give it. So just remember, good leaders have vision. Great leaders give vision. And what I learned as well, especially on social media, is niches to riches. Now, I know it's properly pronounced niche, but that doesn't rhyme as well. So we're going to go with niches to riches. And if you try to be everything to everyone, you're nothing to no one. So actually, as you start posting consistently who you are and what your true vibe is, that's how you're going to attract your tribe. Like, you actually want the people that aren't attracted to who you are and who you're becoming. You want them to unfriend you. You want them to block you. Because what you want to do is you want to start making room for the people that actually love you and love your content. They become your tribe. And over the course of time, they start to share it to their tribe, who are more likely to be just like you, right? And so I started finding that I found my tribe as I was willing to just come out of that shell. And so I wish that I would have gained perspective sooner. I wish that I would have acted sooner, even if it would have been small, simple baby steps. And again, if you're scared to do that, just effectively communicate. No one's telling you need to come out and say, hey, I do network marketing. Do you want to join my business? No, like, if that's not you, being the bold version of you doesn't mean you need to be crazy or annoying or outrageous. It's just, look, you got something that's incredible. Find a way to tell that story. Find a way to tell that story would be the key.
I love that. Okay, so I tried to quickly write some of those. And some people can just come in and do that. And so you were already charismatic and you backed yourself in life. You knew that if you were... Now, for those who have that confidence, this profession can kick your butt too, right? Because if you're used to just doing it and getting your way and just stand aside and it's all me, you got to learn that it's all about them. And that's hard. That kicked my butt. I could back me all day, every day, but how to inspire other people instead of like tell them what to do, that was another whole ball game. I spent a long time in that, and that's still a journey. What could you share with some of those that on the call who are already influencers? They get it. They learn quickly. They've got an amazing, epic work ethic, and they're hitting it. They get frustrated early that they're not having the success that they're used to in the other areas of life. What's your experience on how do you kind of inspire and influence those that don't want to be influenced?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
how do you find more of them and keep them?
Yeah, it's like being a good coach, being a good leader is, because you have to lead through influence, not through title. It's easier in a job when you can just tell someone what to do, and if they don't listen, they're fired. And it's a volunteer army. People can do whatever they want, whenever they want. Because of that, it becomes extremely difficult at times. The other thing is we have to realize and understand is that we need to match people's energy. And so it's a balance. I know that I've heard the saying, we're looking to find motivated people, not motivate people. I'm actually in between on that, because I think the better you are as a leader, the more you're actually going to get out of them, like their talent, their potential, right? Stephen Covey says his definition of leadership was communicating to one their worth and potential so well, they saw it in themselves. So that's where I think it's actually a balance of the two. Yes, we want to find more motivated people. As we become that person, we're going to find more of those people. Now, you may say, but Rob, I've made 6 figures outside of network marketing. Now I'm in network marketing. That helps for credibility, but it's still different. It just is. You could say the exact same thing as Linda. And if you're brand new in network marketing, you're not going to have even 1% of the same exact effect yet, because it's just the law of credibility. She can say it's the same thing. If Linda and I could say the exact same things, but if Warren Buffett comes in, right, and he says it, it's going to have way more weight. Or Sir Richard Branson comes in, all of you are going to be like, whoa. Whereas if we say, like, yeah, that was good. So it's just understanding it takes time to break through that. And so I would say number one is match people's energy or effort. If they go slow, you go slow with them. If they go fast, you go fast with them. If you expect them to go fast, right, and they're not going fast and you keep expecting them to go fast, Shame on them maybe the first time if they told you they were, but after that, shame on you. And too many times we claim that we want it so bad for them. Well, let me ask you this question. If you were making $1 million a year, how would you act with it? You wouldn't be calling every day like, hey, who do you have today? Who do you have today? You'd actually be a much more effective, blunt communicator. And I don't mean blunt in a bad way, because I know sometimes blunt can be used as a piss poor way of communicating if I offend everybody, so that's their own fault. I mean blunt in a way of you communicate your intent. And I think that we can be very blunt if we communicate our intent. So if Linda were that person and I'm making $1 million a year and she's brand new and she's not doing anything, I would say to her, hey, Linda, I absolutely love to help you. And I would say it even if I weren't making $1 million. If I wanted to, and I'm projecting that, I would say, Linda, I'd love to help you. I am not your boss. I just want you to know that. I never want you to feel like I'm trying to push you in a negative way. I know your time's extremely valuable. So is mine. As fast as you go, I will go with you. And I want to help you achieve your goals. You told me when we started, your goal was X, Y, and Z. I want to help you achieve that. And I still know it's possible, and I still know that you can. So what are some thoughts or ideas you have? I have some thoughts and ideas, but what are some thoughts and ideas you have? Because people commit to what they create. So I want the law of the buy-in. I want them to tell me what their goals are and reiterate their goals. I want to make it where I make it more about them, because too many times we say we are, but we come off as like these bosses, and they're just like, who is this person? And this person like keeps trying to push me, and they say they're doing this with or without me. Then why are they calling me and texting me 5 times a day, right? And so I would say that would be it. I would say match your energy. And I would say, really set the tone early on as you do. Get their goals, set the tone. Always make it about their goals that they created and how you're trying to help them to achieve those goals. And you're still plugging them in. And after that, if you've done all of that and they still aren't, don't make them feel like crap. Make them feel like $1 million. Even if their goal, you don't understand how their goal is just to make $200 a month because your goal is to make $50,000+ a month. Even if that's their goal, great. Support them, love them, make them feel really good. Stop trying to push them to have bigger goals to fit into your goals. And move on, because it doesn't take that long. So when I say move on, and I'm not saying abandon them, it's not that hard to plug them in and check in every so often. But go find those sprinters. Walk with the walkers, jog with the joggers, sprint with the sprinters, and make sure you're spending, they say 80-20, and that's what we want to get to, is 80% of our time with 20%ers. But the bigger your organization gets and the better you get, it actually becomes smaller and smaller. Eventually, it's 95-5%. You want to get that where you're just dedicating as much time as you can to the people that really deserve your time. And so stop getting frustrated with them. If you do all those things, don't get frustrated. Love them, love them, love them, love them. Go find people that are actually willing to sprint. Don't make those walkers sprint. Try to help them and then move on.
I love that. There's so many points, and again, I tried to capture them over there in the chat. But okay, so it's January, December. We all come out of the lull in the holidays. Hot Christmas over here on our part of the world. I saw you sledding yesterday. It looks completely epic. A very different Christmas time. What do you think is the most important thing in that first 90 days when the kind of, it's the zone where people are going to stay with us or decide pretty early on, I'm just going to stay using my product and not do another thing with this? What do you focus on with your new people, and what do you teach your team there?
Yeah, the very first thing is what I say for people that are starting, that are brand new, is the analogy I give, and maybe I'll give this, you can remind me, I'll give this analogy when I'm in Australia, but is think of the newest person as co-pilot, and you're pilot, and you're flying this airplane, or you're about to fly it. Now, if Linda's co-pilot, she's my brand new distributor, and I'm pilot, and she gets in the airplane, and I say, Linda, isn't this exciting? And she's kind of scared, right? But she's excited. She's chasing her dreams, right? The airplane represents network marketing. And I say, Linda, here you go. Here's this training manual. Here's all these YouTube videos. And I get out of the plane. And I say, good luck. Now we laugh, but that's what we do in network marketing. And then I call Linda 2 days later, hey, anything you need, I'm here for you. I'll help you out. What do you need? Linda's hitting the eject button. She's out. She's done. She's not flying that airplane. That's how it is in network marketing. If somebody doesn't do anything in those first 3 days, they're not very likely to ever do anything. If they don't do anything in that first week, I'm saying once they've decided that they're a distributor. If they're a customer, they don't have those same expectations. But once they've either shifted from a customer to distributor or they've signed up as a distributor, they're all of a sudden now thinking, okay, they've got these expectations. And at some point, either they're going to give it a go, or at some point, they're just going to say the pain is too great. I cannot handle it. So I would say the very first thing is hold their hand. Hold their hand. Even if that is a video that you have, like watch it with them or have them watch it and right away reach out to them, right? And again, of course, your huge superstar upline leader doesn't have time to do that with everyone, but you should do it. You should do it when you sign somebody up. And they can probably do it with a few people that they sign up that they're really focused on because they're more focused on you and your team, right? As they become a huge leader. But I would say getting the newest person launched is by far the most important thing, because if we don't get them launched, they're done. It doesn't matter how great the plan is after. It doesn't matter how great the training is. It doesn't matter how great the convention is many times, right? They're done. I know this sounds graphic, but they're on their deathbeds and they're on life support. And anything that goes wrong, they're done. So we got to give them oxygen. So now what I actually started doing is, and this is actually my top tip for how I became the top recruiter out of 1 million distributors, is I got people into action right when they signed up. What do I mean by right when they signed up? I mean literally right when they signed up. Like they signed up and seconds after, if I was in person or if we were on a Zoom, right, or call, whatever, back then it wasn't Zooms, it was a call, I would get them going right away. Now, I would mirror them. Some people, you can only get them to reach out to 1 or 2 people. Some people, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if I could get them going to bed thinking, oh, if Susie and Julie do this, this is going to blow up. Now their brains are thinking in the cans and the dreams, rather than if they go to bed and haven't made any new contacts, they're thinking in all the cannots and they're thinking in all the fears and what if they reject me and what if they laugh at me. And so my biggest thing is getting them launched. Of course, after that, I'm trying to get leverage with personal development. I want them to plug into the trainings. Of course, like I said, good leaders have vision, great leaders give vision. So I'm giving that vision of, hey, I'm giving a balance of, I think that, how do I say this? 90% of disappointment comes from unrealistic expectations. But in large part, no one's ever accomplished anything great without unrealistic expectations. So we're kind of like, what do we do? So I sell both. So I sell, hey, it's going to take on average 1 year to learn how to do this business, 3 years to make a full-time income. Some are going to go much faster. Some are going to go much slower. Linda here, she just crushed it. She did this and this and this and this, right? So I give them what's possible, but then I also give the 1, 3, 5 year plan as I'm giving it. So I give them a balance of selling both. Now, of course, it depends on who I'm talking to. But someone that just wants to make $100 a month, I'm not going to talk about anyone who's made $1 million. I'm going to learn to mirror that person. And so, I think those are the biggest things is worrying about all the other things, the trainings and all that. That's all good and that helps. That's important. But your whole key is at the beginning, make it simple, right? What works is what duplicates. And all they really need to do is just know their story. Right? That's it. And what's their story? What are they excited about? Maybe the reason why they're excited. It could be, you know what? I just been stuck at my job. I'm not liking my job. I'm not saying to say that. If they love their job, then they don't say that. I've been stuck in my job and I've just been looking for something else, and I love it. I love these products. I love the people I'm around, and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's time for me to go chase my dreams. You may or may not be interested, but you got to take a look. Right? And then after that, you can send the news prospect, whatever your system is, video, Zoom, whatever you're doing. But that's people say, well, that's not duplicatable. Well, what is duplicatable? Is calling new people duplicatable? I mean, think about it. Like, just nothing really is. So we just want to get people, that's simple, just sharing their story, and no one has to feel like they need to know all the secret sauce ingredients and the 72.9 ways the comp plan pays, right? Like all of that stuff. So I got Invisalign today, so I'm trying to see if I can do Facebook Live with it.
We didn't notice.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to see if I can do it with that with it in, or if I might start taking them out. But I'm like, it's the first day. I got it this morning, so we'll see. I'm just trying to get my teeth straight for when I go to Australia over the course of the next several years. That's it.
Perfect. There was so much stuff in that. So I want to take it another step back. And in that first 24 hours, it is crucial. And it is getting that, what's the one hope and dream from them. And it's still going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to say this. I'm still uncomfortable. I still have a seed of fear after 10 years of starting up people. I'm mostly excited. I'm mostly ready to crush it with them, but I still get that. And I think it's important to share that, oh, here we go again. Do I really have to do this? Do I really have to go build a new line? I just really like doing Zoom calls instead. I still have that. And so when we're doing that with them, that breakthrough moment that's uncomfortable on the other side of it, wow, we just got our first potential and now we've got a meet up and now they're going to watch this and they're coming to our event. And on the other side of that is now action. And I think Eric posted some, incredible statistic about the chance of that person now staying engaged for years because you personally help them find their first customer, their first team, and you wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. So if we look at it like that, and this has always been the same in network marketing, no matter how many links and other ways there is to just make this even more rapid, we cannot hide behind links and hope and pray that they're going to do their list and just off you go, see you later. So it's incredibly refreshing and an amazing reminder that is our job. That is what we get paid to do all day, every day, is to co-pilot, give them oxygen, give that insane belief, and help them find that first initial success. And then we get that incredible foundation to build on. Now we know it works. We've done it before. We can do it again. This is all we do. Why do we complicate it so much?
I think, there's a lot of different reasons. One, I know us as $1 million earners, I did it and most do it. They get to the point where they have success and then it's almost like they're trying to create this system they think will crush their business. And in their brains, they think if it's more complicated and brilliant, smart, it justifies their success to people asking why. And they think it creates more leverage when in reality, we ask them how they built their business and was never like the way that they're creating. So that's one reason. The other reason I think is we're checklist people and we're used to trading time for money. And so we go do the 19 things that are non-high income producing activities because at the end of the week, we work 30 hours for the week, which we feel like that deserves success. Subconsciously, we know it doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel like we deserve success. But the one thing we need to do is reach out to new people and help our team reach out to new people. But instead, we check off the other 19 things in hopes that somehow we find the secret or in hopes that someone else does the work. But in reality, eventually either you get lucky and someone really does the work, or you actually have success, which means you actually do the work, which you're going to have a rejection. I just feel like when people say, how'd you have success? I failed more than other people. I paid attention. I was deliberate. I wasn't just working at the beginning. I had to learn to be effective with my time because I can't tell how many people, and Linda, you've done it. Without even asking you, I've done it. We've all done it where we just do the fake work. And it's like, in reality, we're not really working. We're fake working, right? And we know what that is. All of us, all the top $1 million earners, every single one I've ever talked to knows because they go in and out of it. And so it's no different for the people that aren't making that money, except for they're doing more fake work. That's it. They're just doing more fake work. You want to get better at inviting, following up, and closing? Do the deal. Reach out to new people.
Right.
That's it.
Right. It just solves all the problems, but we avoid it. It's eat that frog. It's like, really, do I have to get in the plane again? Okay. Let's start flicking on the things and let's go back to, but it is repetitive. So what do you do? How do you get into state? What do you focus on to amp that up, to bring that passion? You're clearly energetic and passionate. You know when you need to bring that. On the day that you don't want to get in the plane with someone, what do you do? What do you focus on? Because to me, that's the ultimate game. We can focus on what's wrong, or we focus on, hi, little guy, you're so cute. Thank you for letting us have Dad.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, can you shut the door, handsome? You shut the door? Thank you. Jeez, he's the youngest.
This is what we love about
Yeah.
him too.
Mom's coming to get him now.
My daughter just delivered fried camembert that she harped from the freezer section. She's just delivered it to me because I've been on back-to-back calls here.
Yeah, so we know how it goes, right?
Soon,
I'm doing tennis lesson. I hurry over here. I got the
she doesn't know I'm on a shred. I'm going to turn into a piece of cheese soon. I'm never eating another piece of cheese again. But, okay, we digress.
Oh, you women, you make me laugh when you're especially in such good shape. So I think the first thing to understand is you're never ever going to be always passionate, always excited. You're just not. I think first understanding that is important. I think it's important to understand that you can't actually act your way into it. Meaning, if you're not feeling good, just by thinking about it, it's very hard to feel good. So you have to set minimums. And what I say is, show me your minimums and I'll show you your future. Everybody always talks about the BHAGs, the big, hairy, audacious goals. And they set the huge goals. That's great. Like I had those. I still have those. Everybody has it. It's easy. We're dreamers in network marketing. But what are you willing to do when you don't feel like it? That right there, in large part, will determine your success. What do you feel like doing when you don't? What are you going to do when you don't feel like doing anything at all? Because it's going to happen. Now, make sure you set your minimums with that in mind. Because you're not setting your minimums in a way that like it's the day you're going to crush your business. No, think of the day when you do not want to do anything. Or what would that minimum be? And maybe it's only one new contact for you, right? Or maybe it's for the week, no matter what, you're going to do 5 or 7, whatever it is. But when you look at the great athletes or the great musicians, they didn't say, oh yeah, I just haven't felt good the last 5 days. They find a way to do it even when they don't feel like it. Darren Hardy talks about it in the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. He says 95% of the things that us entrepreneurs do, we don't necessarily like doing those things. Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Highly Effective Habits, he recites an essay called The Most Common Denominator of Success. And in the essay, the author, Ian, he talks about how in studying his life, the one thing is he said, it's not that successful people like doing the things that unsuccessful people don't do. It's that they're willing. That's the key word. They're willing to do it. They're willing to do it. So it's not like Linda's so excited. Like it's not like she was so excited to reach out to a new person that could, just make fun of her or just say they're not interested. It's not like I was excited even when I started making money. Like, oh yes, I get to reach out to this new person who could absolutely reject me, right? But my purpose was strong enough. My pain was on a scale 1 to 10, and fears were at an 8 or a 9. But my goals, my dreams, and my ambitions and my purpose were at a 10. And so you got to ask yourself, this is going to be tough love. And I'm giving you a lot of the stuff that I go really in deep on speeches. Is your why alive? And I'm not saying that to be rude. That's tough love. But you're going to say to me, no, it's not. You don't understand. I've got to get my spouse out of their job, or I have these 2 kids. Well, great. Are your actions matching your why? Because if not, I'm going to ask you that because I really want to hit home where it just wakes you up. And you say, okay, you're right. I gotta suck it up. I got to go make it happen. And this is a brand new year right now. It's a brand new year. This is all it is a psychological excuse to go make it happen. If you're really, really having that bad day and you haven't taken action yet, great. Then go read your definiteness of purpose or affirmation statement or whatever it is that you've written. Hopefully you've got something that you can read out loud. I had something that I had to read when I started like 10 times a day because I was just so scared. And I just had to read it. Part of what it said in it is I'd never gone all out and done something completely different. I deserve this right now. I will do whatever it takes. I was part of in my definition of purpose, and I had to read that every day. So I'd read that, and then the last thing is just go on a gratitude page. I mean, if you're reading personal development, that'll help. So I would do extra in the late night, hopefully, or early morning, because there's red time and green time. Green time is when someone's available to reach out to. Let's stay in income producing activities. Red time is when they're not available. So preferably, but I know there's certain days where you just got to do it. And the last thing is just, the gratitude challenge. Just write down things that you're grateful for in this business and give yourself perspective, because perspective is everything. We got to have the short-term urgency balance with the long-term vision. Too many people have so much long-term vision and they have no short-term urgency, and they're around 10 years from now, but they never make any money. Other people have so much short-term urgency, no long-term vision, right? Bad day, bad week, bad month, they quit. And so I always say rich people think long-term, poor people think short-term. That's spiritually, financially, physically, mentally, that's in all aspects of life. And so we got to have that perspective where we're not like someone great joins our business and it's, I'm going to Bali. And then somebody great quits your business and you're like, Linda, I'm just too busy. This is not going to work out for me. I can't do this, right? We're drama kings and queens. Our highs are too high, our lows are too low. And the longer you're in the business, the more and more you want to be like this. You want to get to the point where someone great joins your business, they quit, you feel bad. You feel bad for them, right? It's just like, well, next, I'll make it happen. I still love them, but I move on.
That's sensational. There was a big truth bomb in there. Did you feel it? Like there was no more oxygen left on everyone's Zoom. Oh my God, does my why match my actions? Is my why a lie? Holy crap. Because we love the hype and we want to set this good stuff. But the difference, the gap, we've got to keep bridging that every day, and it's the eat the greens kind of stuff. This is why, me personally, I'm so tired of training. It could be because of 10 years. But training just tells me that I still don't know and people don't know what to do. Whereas when you're in that focused 15 minutes, the blitz, whatever you want to call it, where you are in the reach out mode, where you are in a discussion and a dialogue and an add value and creating relationships, that's what we get paid to do. And then there's starting the new person. And so let me ask you this, because we'll finish up. At this time of year, there's a lot of, I would call it confusion. Some people are like wired and they've done the early work. They're ready to rock. They've got their vision clear, their purpose, their charisma. They're in influencer mode. I think for every one of those, there's 20 to 30 people who are like, I don't have that. I just can't be bothered. I'm not having a success. I should have been here last year. I've got the wrong upline. I've got the wrong marketing plan. And all of that just feels so heavy for some reason, especially at this time of the year. What are your top tips for getting out of that? And I liked that you said, really, you can't fake it till you make it. You just got to focus on your one minimum thing and move into action, and action creates momentum. Because if momentum's like the car that stops, there's a lot of cars that feel like they're at the bottom of the hill right now, completely stalled. How do we start the engine? Do we maximize resources? Do we get a bunch of people to come and help us ignite? Do we just do those small actions every day? What do you do across your team right now to start lighting it up?
Yeah, that's a great that's a great question to ask, because it's true, and it's a psychological business. It really is. And sometimes no matter what we teach people to do, they're not going to do it. They're not going to see it. So, you said, it's just true, right? It sucks. It's reality. And the sooner we don't want to be bad human beings where we just say, okay, next. But at the same time, we're building our dreams and we need to spend our time with people that deserve it. Yes. Because if you're spending with people that don't, you're actually hurting other people's dreams and your own. So it's finding that fine line of giving the tough love, communicating to them, like I said, you're not their boss. And then after the effective communication, moving forward faster or slower with them, or moving on, but they still can stay plugged in. And so, a couple things that I just wrote down is, yes, when you said as far as we just do, try to do something to progress our business. The definition of happiness, the most simplistic one, is progress. When we're progressing, we're happy. When we're not, we're not. If a business goes from, making $1 million a year to making $500,000 a year, a lot of you are like, well, I'd be so excited. I promise you, it's maintaining is fatigue. Building is energy. That's a life principle. Maintaining is fatigue, building is energy. So when you go from $500 a month to making $1,000, you're excited because you're showing progress. So the key is showing progress as you're really building it. And I think part of it as well, before I go into these 2 tips, is one of comparison's the great thief of joy, and it's impossible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. And a lot of it comes from us comparing. It's comparing our chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. It's comparing so-and-so who maybe they did get lucky. Maybe they found someone who's really good. Who cares? I mean, honestly, who gives a crap? If they got lucky, why is that affecting you and your life and your happiness? Don't begrudge them for their luck. Who cares? It has nothing to do with you. Don't wish that you were luckier. Just wish you were better and go make it happen. That's where you start to take responsibility. And so, yes, I would say do something every day. Something. I don't care what it is. Something every day to progress the business forward. Something every single day. The other thing I would say is this, as you're going about all of this, is you want to get your brain to work for you. And what I mean by that is a lot of times our brain, it's naturally negative and it works against us. So anytime, there's a couple different ways that I teach this. So to leaders, I teach them, anytime someone on your team comes to you with a problem, have them come to you with 3 solutions. Why? Because you want to become a leader of leaders, not a leader of followers. Get them to think on their own 2 feet, as well as sometimes they have a better solution than you would have thought of. And so too many people, they're not doing that. So make sure that, that's one of the things and one of the keys that you're doing. The second part to that is make sure that anytime you have a negative thought, this is one of the most profound things that you can take from this if you do it. Write down 3 solutions, whether it's in your phone or on a piece of paper. I don't care what negative thought of network marketing's too hard. I can't do this. I'm a bad spouse. This area is really hard for me. I just don't feel like I'm good enough at recruiting. Write down 3 solutions. Why? Because your brain can't focus on the problem and the solution at the same time. So either you're creating more problems and you're amplifying those and you're giving those more justice, or your brain's focused on the solutions. Either you're finding ways to have success, or you're creating your alibi to mommy, daddy, brother, sister, best friend, whoever, on why you lost. And as soon as your brain starts looking for your alibi, you're done. Like, you're screwed. That's all you're doing. And so you got to start to push those excuses out. And I learned this actually from tennis when I was 16 years old. No one taught me this. I just naturally learned in my mind. I found myself sometimes in close matches thinking of all the excuses in case I lost. And I realized I lost most of those matches. So I was self-aware. I played, semi-professional tennis. And so I started actually making sure anytime that excuse came to my mind, I started throwing in 10 positive, stupid affirmations that I didn't tell anyone because I was 16 years old and this macho guy. And I would say things in my mind like, I'm a machine. I'm a freaking machine. You're going to have to kill me to beat me. And my mind, I'm not cocky at all. And I'm and so for me, I didn't want to tell anyone. Plus I thought it sounded cheesy, but I found that I won my last year. I won 10 out of 11 third set matches. Third set is where you win, they win 1, and it comes down to the end. So it's pretty much tied 50-50. I won 10 out of 11 because I learned the psychology. And so for all of you've got to start to get your brain trained and retrained to work for you rather than against you. And anytime you have any negative thought in any aspect of your life, not just business, this will help you in all aspects of your life. Write down 3 solutions or put them in your phone to start to get your brain just focused on how do I become a better human being, a better leader, a better everything.
Rob, you are spectacular. It's 1:00 here, and I'm just burning up the page here with all of the capturing that's going on over here. And it's so true. What I'm hearing is your discipline, number 1, that you've carried through from early lessons of being a young athlete, and making purpose be bigger than all the reasons why not. And I love the extra step. For me, this is going to be my big challenge this week. I'm good at thinking of the better thing of reshifting my focus after a lot of years of training, but writing down 3 solutions to your little nag, your little alibi, that is gold. That is kryptonite. That is amazing, my friend. I'm going to do that as a January challenge. And yeah, guys, if you can, I'm just going to go to gallery view so we can all give Rob just a spectacular thank you, maybe a few comments on what you've loved, what you've taken away from this. Most of all, because this guy lives in the passion of paying it forward and helping others. Who are you going to help, including yourself, because of this? How are you going to now learn and pass this on and apply it? We don't just take this for ourselves. What are you going to go and focus on and actually teach from this? Because there is a lot of incredible 7-figure, absolutely explosive wisdom in here. I'm incredibly grateful. So here's the great news. In case you missed it at the start, and we put in the link at the very top, and I'll copy and paste it again. It's Rob and Fraser. FraserandRob.com.
Yeah,
Fraser
yeah,
and
we're very creative, as you can tell. So we did FraserandRob.com. Fraser with the D, right? So that's our creativity just coming out.
It's perfect because I can remember it instead of some fire up your business kind of thing. It's Fraser and Rob. That's who it's going to be. I've just popped it in there again. These guys are coming to the sunny Gold Coast. And we're just super excited to have this time with them. You know that they're all about high action and making an impact. You're not going to sit there and non-actively learn and just listen. This is about taking your business to the next level. I love that it's affordable for everyone. Whether you're brand new, you're going to be reached. Whether you're an established leader who's tired of maintaining his fatigue. I love that. Coming off maintaining for the past 2 years personally and across our organization, I know that this organization is very ready for the next wave, and we've got to do things differently. We have to keep evolving. This business and profession is changing every 4 or 6 months. There's something new. The concepts are the same. You've got to get in that plane, co-pilot, give them oxygen, encourage the hell out of them, know why they're there. But there's some incredible ways that we can move further faster, and I know that these guys are going to over-deliver massively. And I'm just so thankful for this hour. Was incredible for me personally, and I know that look at the comments there. There's just so many fresh ideas and ways to think in here, and I'm incredibly grateful and loving, forging and creating more friendship with you, Rob. You're a spectacular human. And you just have so much to give. We're honored to have spent this time with you.
Well, you're so nice. And the greatest compliment when I went out to Australia for the first time, actually, this last year, was I had several people come up to me. They're like, "You're not from the States." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "You're from Canada, right?" I said, "No." Well, you don't do the rah-rah stuff. Like, you seem more down to earth. And I'm like, well, I love my country, but I'm going to take that as a compliment. But it's kind of funny. It's ironic. I actually have resonated a lot better with Canada and Australia with my style. Even though I love my country, but I've resonated a lot better with them than I have in my own country. And I don't know, styles, personalities. But if I see you there, come give me a hug at the event. If you can't be there, that's okay. I still love you as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of breakthroughs. And I appreciate all of you for getting me on and for tuning in and listening. I know we all have a lot of things that we could do. We're all busy in life, but isn't this industry great? I'm a better father, husband, friend, leader, neighbor, person because of this industry. Now I have a long ways to go, but that to me is what makes this thing so powerful. So thank you, Linda, and thank you all for getting me on. I appreciate it.
Happy New Year.